Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind spouse. Her bomb drop is January 2022. That's January of this year, and it is now June. So it's been not quite 6 months. It's been 5 months. Her date of marriage is 2008. She has a boomerang and a low energy wallower. And as I start, I'm going to say I think there is a possibility this could be clinging or with some clinging tendencies. But you will find out more as time goes on whether he's really clinging or not. So let's look at this. She says, I found out about the alienator just 2 weeks ago. I wasn't surprised because of what I've learned on the forum. Thank you for that, but I'm heartbroken over it. My question is, when I confronted him, he lied, of course. But after about 30 minutes, he finally admitted it, and then he said he never loved me. 14 years, he said he tried, but he taught himself when he was little not to love anyone. We had a good month in May, normal, but then it was bad for a week. He monstered, and now he's back to being okay. We don't live together right now, but we see each other 5 to 6 times a week because of our son who's 12. But he will hug me, and he'll tell me that it's not helping me, but then he won't let go and wants to be playful. That's why I said clinging boomerang. 5 to 6 times a week may not simply be because of your son 12 and then that next piece, hugging you and that he won't let go. That's clinging. How do I detach when I just want his playfulness? Why do these things if he never loved me? Okay, first, I think you have the evidence that that part, the never loved you part, isn't true. You don't need to go tell him that, or you can. When he says, I never loved you, you can just look at him and say, you know what, honey? You and I both know that's not true, and you might not feel it now, but I'm not buying it. And you know what? I know you're not either. You don't say it, I disagree, you're wrong. You just state it as a fact, but you state it very softly like I did. You're not in a command voice. You're not in an argument voice. You're not in a critical voice. You're like, you know what? Thanks, but I'm not buying that, dude. Okay. 14 years, he said he tried. Now, it could be true that he has family of origin trauma, and he has taught himself to suppress and repress. He has taught himself to fake when he feels things like love. But that doesn't mean he doesn't feel those things as well. And I'm glad that you were expecting or prepared, let's say, prepared for an alienator. It sounds a lot like how it was with me. I found out about the alienator much sooner than you did, but I was prepared. And he hadn't slept with mine hadn't slept with her. And so it was just, there's somebody, the idea. And he said he was planning to be with her. But so then I also had this period where I got to get used to that next step was going to happen. And so it really did make it easier. It sounds terrible, but I said, like you said, not surprised, heartbroken, but the same level of shock that the other people have because that's the discovery who isn't there with you. And that's a good thing. And mine did some of the same things. He would lie when confronted, but mine doesn't do it very well. And so if I pester him, oh, he caves. Definitely. So yours did that. He finally admitted he never loved you. That's not the affair. And then he said he never loved you. Now, the never loved you part is part of the script. So there's a few things I want you to do. And what I'm going to say is I want you to do nothing. Because nothing is something. Doing nothing is something. What it means is you're going to let go. Now, in some ways, detachment is the lower level of letting go. That's the emotional letting go. But what it means is you're going to give him space. It doesn't mean you're going to say you can't come over and things like that. But you're going to be very accepting. You're going to not ask him about where he has been, not ask him about his day, not ask him about his relationships, not ask him about where he thinks you two are. You're just going to let all of that go. He's going to come and you're going to be nice. We have to be careful because there could be a level where when does this become doormat or when does this become allowing? I want you to be at least giving the appearance, not of dating, but of getting on with your life. You might not be doing it yet, but I want it to show. I want you to be smiling and happy. And if he says, what's going on? This is weird. Be vulnerable as well. This is a very big balancing act. It's a tightrope. Because I got that, why are you acting that way? Why are you so perky? Well, I'm a perky person, but at times he was right. It wasn't fitting the context, and I was faking it till I make it. And I want you to work on that, because sometimes doing nothing is doing something. And so the something is, well, you know what? What I'm doing is I'm working on myself. What I'm doing is I'm figuring out how to thrive and be happy and choose joy, even when life sucks right now, doesn't it? Honey, life sucks because of what's going on. You're not here and it's a stress. But I've decided I have to deal with that, and life still goes on. And I'm going to deal with it better if I choose joy. That's going to be my attitude from now on, whether you're here or not, because I'd love it if you would choose to be here as a husband to me. But I can't make that choice for you. So I'm sorry that you're choosing not to. You're going to be the one who loses out, not me. And you're saying it kindly. You're saying it with a sadness and a compassion. Not a, dude, you just lost. I'm the prize. It's not that. It's, I accept this choice that you're making. You're letting him go because he's going to do it, whether you want to or not. And if you're not resistant to it, it's going to allow him to do it without the same levels of guilt and shame. Because if you're pulling him back, saying how he owes you, that's going to hold him back from doing it, so it takes longer. And it's going to give him those guilt and shame that could be more toxic guilt. It's hard. Yeah, you want his playfulness. And there's going to be times where in these early days, you can give in to that. But if it's causing you to not be able to detach, then you need to set that aside. He's coming over to see your son. Go somewhere. Say, you know what? You're here, but I have some errands to do, or I'm meeting up with friends. I want you to appear to have a social life outside of home. So be mysterious about it sometimes. Not so much so that you're really leading him on to think you're meeting someone, as in dates, but mysterious enough that he can go wherever his mind wants to wander with it. And then if he asks, you can say, yeah, I'm meeting up with my girlfriends. We just thought we'd go out, and we're going to go for a walk. We're going to go for a drink, or whatever it is. But you have a life. And you're enjoying that life, because when they look back, they take those looks, they're wondering, her life is so together when life is falling apart. People don't handle it like this. Why is she handling it so well? And if he talks to you about it, because he's present enough, you can admit, you know what? I don't have my life as together as you think. Because they'll say, well, I guess I really didn't matter to her. She healed so quickly. I'd say, no, this is how I heal. This is part of the recovery process, is I have to choose that life goes on. It's damn hard. So you show the vulnerability, but only when they ask for that vulnerability. When they say, this just doesn't seem right. I guess you're just a cold, hard biatch because you don't care, because you're getting on with your life so fast. And then you tell them. You don't have to hold that hand close to you. It's not poker. You can explain to them, I'm doing this as part of this healing. I'm letting you go because it's what you need. I can't control you. And that is a hard thing to do. I know you want his playfulness. And I want you to smile with him. And it's going to be even harder. But you say, you know what? You've said this isn't good for me when you do these hugs. And there's a part of it that's great for me because it feels so good. But you're right. Because I know you're not meaning or intending to lead me on. That's why he's a clinging boomerang now. He can't help it. And it feels good. But if this isn't helping us to detach from one another so that we can choose our own joy and heal, whether that's together or not, and you could say that, we are never going to get back together, even though you might not ever want that, but it's never going to happen anyway if we don't heal. And we're not going to be fully healed people ready for relationships, because what you've got now, you darn well know that's doomed. Come on, buddy. And I do say these things like that. I say them nicely. But that relationship is doomed because it started out as something that was destroying your family, and that includes being destructive to you. Those relationships don't last. Yeah, I know. You think that she's your soulmate when he says that. That's the response. That's what they all think. And the majority of them fail, and most of them think, well, I'm going to be the exception. Why are you going to be the exception? You know you're not. This is a temporary relationship, and temporary might be a few years, it might be a few months, who knows? But you already know. You know that she's already jealous that you have a spouse and you have to come visit. If you've seen those things, or if you really sense them, say things like that because they're real. Your relationship with her, if it's not conflicted yet, buddy, it's gonna be. That relationship, given the way it started and that you've got a family over here, that is going to be high conflict, high stress, high pain, high trauma. Have fun with it. And when you're ready to quit, let me know. Because you're going to be a lot healthier person. And you detach by doing some of that. There are some truth darts in there. Study truth darts. But really, you focus on you. How do I detach? When you want his playfulness, you accept that you want it, but that you're going to have it in the future. He is probably a clinging boomerang, at least right now. Let me know if you have any more questions. And I will see everybody in the next question.